a problem, don't wanna solve it, baby. There's a problem, don't wanna solve it.
Honestly, there is nothing worse than going to somebody's page, feeling like they can do your hair or your lashes or whatever, and you go to their booking site and they have a bunch of rules and regulations and what you better do and what you could not do and how they about to do it to you. Like, going to somebody's booking site and already feeling like they got an attitude with you will definitely turn me off. So if you are a business owner who has a booking site that resembles this, then you're probably turning off a lot of valuable customers simply because of presentation, the way that you present your policies and things like that. So I know you guys, this is not the first time that you've ever seen an Acuity design or a booking site design. So we're just gonna walk through how you can do this, but more specifically, how you can present your policies and, you know, things about your brand in a more professional way. Okay, so for this, I'm going to be using one of my clients. Her name is Virginia, and she doesn't have a lot of rules and regulations, as you can see, but I just wanted to use hers as an example because, you know, it's pretty basic, pretty clean. There's not a lot of fluff to it, so we can definitely just like jazz this up a little bit. But if you have a bunch of extra stuff on there, then you definitely want to do this. So the first thing that I do is kind of plan out what I need to put on the design. So, you know, you have your main banner. She has promotions that she usually promotes, definitely the policies, directions to both of her locations, and discounts. I do this with every website or any design that I do. I usually just plan it out, sketch it out real like rough draft before I even start designing in whatever platform that I'm using. So you want to go ahead and make a sketch if you want to, but if you just go straight in, then that's up to you. So as you can see, I have the first banner, and it has like the heading and the call to action. Then we're gonna have like the locations with directions. That center column is going to be her policies, and then the bottom section is going to be prep instructions, and then the last section is current promotions. I actually decided to add another section here, and this is for her products because she has a retail line. So it's just going to be 2 sections with call to actions on where they can get products from and information about that. And before I move on to the next step, I do want to make a note that I created dimensions in different sections for each part of the design. So you see where everything is boxed off, they're basically going to have a different set of dimensions. Okay, so now we're going to get started with the design. We're going to use Canva for this, but you can really use any design platform, Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever else you want to use. You can use this as long as you can, you know, just be creative and use the same dimensions. You'll probably be great. So the section for the main banner is going to be 2000 by 1600 pixels. So you're just going to put that in the custom dimensions and just start designing. A lot of this is pretty much self-explanatory, like the design part. So I'm going to let you guys just kind of watch me do what I'm doing. And then if I have anything important to add, then I'll add it then. So when you guys are making these by yourself, it's a really good idea to, you know, kind of have the mindset of having a full-on website. I know that a lot of people don't think of it this way. They kind of think of it as an app or an add-on, but you know, optimizing your page as a website, especially if you don't have a main site, is important. Paying special attention to the messaging and like you know, your headlines and your subheadings and things like that, your call to actions will definitely help. If you're not used to using Canva, another tip for you is to, if you can see what I'm doing here, whenever I'm getting to a section where I feel like it needs to be stuck in place, I use the lock icon in the corner here with the 3 dots to lock it in its position so I can move other things around. Another thing to note, these are her photos and things like that. So use your own brand photos, use your typography and your colors to make everything still be cohesive and on brand. You definitely don't want it to look like a completely different business. So in this next banner, I'm doing the policies and prep instructions. So I'm creating sections with lines and boxes and things like that. So whenever you're working on something like this, be sure to, you know, just use the best of your space. If you're someone who has a lot of policies and a lot of rules and stuff like that, like we were talking about in the beginning, then it's probably best to do 2 sections of this. So just think about the information that you have and kind of make use of the sections that you have. For the most part, you can make as many of these separate sections as you want, but in my opinion, it's best to use about 4 or 5, depending on the size and things like that. You don't want to overload them with a bunch of information. Most of them aren't going to read it. They're going to scroll past, and if they have a question, that is when you know, customers tend to actually read certain information. So you want it there to be able to be read, but a lot of people skim through and go straight to the appointment section anyway. So, you know, make the best use of the space. Now for this next section, we're going to use 2000 by 700 pixels for like the smaller banners, and this is going to be for locations. And while you're watching, tell me where or what you actually do. Are you a hairstylist? Are you a lash tech? Do you do tanning like Miss Virginia here? What do you do in the comments? One thing that's good about Canva is that you can always find commercial use icons and things like that, so you don't have to search for those on your own, unlike Adobe, where you have to kind of have packs and things like that. So if you want to get something done that's quick or whatever, Canva is a really good thing to use. I usually use Canva for my clients, especially if they are using a template that they can use on their own, because they have a free version, but most people have the pro version. Another good tip is, as you can see here, Not all the information is going to go in a bunch of paragraphs or long sentences. Try to condense a lot of the information that you have for your clients, and put them in a way that's less I don't know what other word to use but other than bulky, because when you put all those words together, again, it's like brain overload. So the last two sections that we're doing are going to be 2000 by 1200 pixels, and we're going to do the products banner, and what else are we gonna do? Oh, the promotions banner. And like I'm doing here, be sure to include some things like if you have products like Virginia does, or special promotions like she has a membership, you definitely want to promote those. So this is an opportunity for you guys to advertise and upsell more than, oh, y'all better come ready to your appointment type of thing. Like, yes, you want to give your rules and regulations and you know, some tips on how they can prepare, but for the most part, you want to move most of that stuff into your automated emails and texts and things like that. You definitely don't want to overload the page with a lot of that information. I had to change that picture because it looked weird with the text near her butt. Don't forget, you guys can add like coupons and discounts and things like that for first timers, like I'm doing here. This is another way for you to get first time clients and things like that, instead of creating a whole separate service tab. Yeah, so you can create discounts and things like that for first timers instead of creating like a whole separate service. Like, I know a lot of people will do this. They'll put like for first time only, and they'll have like a service tab. But the problem with that is usually anybody can book that, and then you have to deal with, oh, you booked the wrong one, and contacting them and things like that. So using a code is probably better. So this is the last banner, and this is her promotions tab. It's all about her memberships. So I put this at the bottom because this is the last thing that I want them to see. Now we're going to download everything and move on to the inside of the Acuity scheduling app. So once everything is downloaded, you want to go to the Customize Appearance tab of your dashboard. You want to remove any of the text that you have in that box and upload an image using the image icon. Now a lot of you might run into this issue right here, where you try to upload it and it says it's too big. So in this case, you're going to search for image resizer. You're not going to do anything for the second part, but you're going to select the image and upload it. And once it uploads, you're not going to do anything to the resize options, but in the save options, you want to make the target file size 1400 kilobytes. And then you're going to save it as a JPEG or PNG. Once it's downloaded, you want to go back and upload it, and it should be the right size. So you're going to do that for probably all the image, because they might be all too big. And basically what the image resizer does is resizes it without losing its quality. And as you're uploading them, you want to make sure that you remove any spaces by just using the backspace. Now at the bottom here, once everything is uploaded, you can change the background, you can change the fonts, you can also change the button colors, and that's what we're doing right here. But you can only do this if you have a premium plan. You're gonna save changes, and boom, this is what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like after. Now you have a booking site that all your clients can enjoy. You can communicate with them clearly, and that looks more professional and more inviting. So if you like this video, then you'll probably like the other content that I have coming up. So definitely subscribe and put that notification bell on, and check out the description box for freebies. I always put resources and freebies and things like that down there. So you definitely want to check that before you go. And don't forget to tell me how yours turned out. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.